Hey guys, I filmed a video, but it's not gonna be uploaded. Let me get my chair. My chair and my cushion. And I'm so sorry to do it, but you have to. So I made these two bracelets, and one says L and W, and that's like a really cool one, and then one says, no, it's a W and L, and this one, let me show you. It pretty much says, I love my fans. So my dad's gonna tie them. I voted for Kids' Choice Award. JoJo has my vote. Because of that, I feel like it's that I chose JoJo because I like you. I feel like with that, it's a non-political voting thing for kids. Sorry, I am checking something. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. And then I will check this because, sorry, I had to check some Instagram stories. But yeah, you guys want to know, I posted a poll the other day and you guys voted for this video idea, so I hope you like it because this is what you voted for. It was in between this or a stretch. At 15. So this is what you voted for, so take it. Okay, the lighting is like it. You guys voted for a video about my life. I wanted to step by step give you details about my life, favorite things, just a lot of just in my life. You're going to be getting my opinions on things. This is what you wanted. You voted on a poll on Instagram. I deliver. Someone did vote for the stretch video, so that will be coming later. So, guess I'm going to start with my life before social media. Before social, here's the thing, I never lived a normal life. I never wanted to, was the thing, because I had such a great life. Or, I have a great life. It's gotten better lately. Over, the past year, but it's also gotten worse. And I'll explain that. So, pretty much. And I never wanted a normal life, is what I'm saying. It's always been great. Before I lived with my sister, it was strict. It was really strict. And once I kind of moved in with my sister, we moved in, and then it wasn't as strict, and I feel like partly because I thought a strict life was normal. I thought everyone had it strict. And realizing, oh wait, I had it strict, even more than I thought. It kind of just taught me more to like stand up to my mom. And I'm never rude to my mom. My mom says that I sass her, but I honestly don't. My dad even says that I don't. Like, I'm very nice. I'm just, well, here's the thing. I will never scream at my mom unless she has really gotten. I will calmly have a reasonable conversation. And I'll be like, well, you made me upset with this, or and I stand up to her and I don't let her always win. Now, if it's something that like I don't mind doing, then I'm like, I'll do it, because it's not a big deal. But yeah, I never talk back to my mom. I'm always like, okay, I'll explain my side, explain my case, but I'm not gonna be like, I think you'll away with it or something. I'm very respectful. I'm same way with my dad. Although my dad and me never argue anymore. We never argue anymore. Or like when I was little, we argued a lot over one reason, and that I always wanted to sleep in their room. Because when I was a baby, if you laid me down, I would throw up. Like, I would throw up if you laid me down. I got older, I don't do that anymore. Like, so every night, someone, either my mom or my dad, would sit up all night holding me in a chair. So I wouldn't throw up. Like, but then after that, once that kind of got stopped, I started like sleeping with them time for like different reasons. And then at that point, I just got used to being around people, and that caused the issue of where I always want to sleep in my parents' bed. And so that got fixed soon later. Like, it got fixed after a very high age of like 9 or 10. Yeah, so like, and that's, but I never like complained about my, here's a big question that is would you rather be born without autism? And the answer to that is no, 100% no. Oh, I want to be born, I'm happy I was born with autism because it led me to the Autism Center, which led me to music class and art class, which led me to my crush. So in a way, autism let me meet my crush. If I didn't have autism, I would have never met my crush. Which means I would have never been as happy as I was when just at music class. Like, I was always the shy kid at music class. Literally, people would say that I'm shy, and I'm like, it never offended me, because no one was ever being rude, was the thing. No one was ever like, she's shy, like, we don't like her. Like, everyone was nice about it. Yeah, because I would stand up in the corner, like, if anyone tried to talk to me or anything, I wouldn't talk to them. And then there were two people that if they came up and talked to me, I would be kind of quiet, but like I would reply, which was the teacher and my crush. And that's true. Like, anyone else would come up to me, and I'm like in my shy bubble. But over time, I definitely got more used to it, and yeah. But in fairness, it was like my first like thing that I would leave. Like, I would actually, like, my first thing that I would leave the house, I would go to by myself. I would be in the room. Like, my parents would be in the room, and with other kids and. Yeah. Like, I was shocked. But for me, once I started, like, taking control and, like, I started really understanding, like, I always dreamed of social media. Yeah, and I always have been homeschooled. I always like had a very different life, and I always loved it. Now we're gonna talk more like after I started social media around that. And I started living with my sister. That was really fun. Like it was fun, but like hard. It was fun in the sense that like I would go places and like like I would have fun. Like there was like I like it was just overall fun. Then, but like it was also hard in a way because it wasn't hard not against them, nothing up against my sister. That was never a thing. It was hard in the sense that I was 3 hours away from my crush, and I wasn't being able to see him. Like, there was one point where I went 2 years and without seeing him pretty much, and that was hard, but wasn't because in the sense of like I kind of like I saw him a lot that first year kind of because we first moved up there. Then it got to where like I didn't think about it. That makes sense, and because I didn't know. I was still questioning if I really liked him, like I never forgot about him. I always would be like, excited if I saw him, but like, but yeah, it was questionable at one point. And so for me, I was always distracted at that point because I was taking dance, I was seeing Bella, like I was just having fun and like I tried to make that time like kind of like time just to have fun and like let loose. Well then, yeah, we're gonna talk like when I started social media. So I basically what happened was stuff happened, a little bit of drama and stuff, and we basically moved back down here. And I was a wreck. Like at this point, I was a wreck. I called Bella the night that I found out. Which the funny thing was, we saw each other less than 24 hours before this. I was a wreck. It was literally my dog Sam's first birthday. We celebrated like a few days before, me and Bella. Like we had some neighborhood kids over. Okay, let me check some. Okay, we're done. For a second, it was a shadow, but I'm now realizing it's just the sunlight. So yeah, like I kind of just, I called Bella crying. Like I don't cry easy. Like I don't cry in an emotional way. Like for me, if like I'll throw fits, I'll admit that. Like sometimes if I'm really mad about something, and I'm throwing fits over dumb things. But I went through one that was a 2-hour fit over a Pizza Hut pizza because that kind of had a story behind it that I'm gonna explain right now, which was that basically if we are like plumbing or something quit working on this one day. It just had to quit working on one day. And one day, and yeah, like this one day, and that we were planning to go to Pizza Hut. Our Pizza Hut did this thing called Book It, where there was like a website and you would basically sign up, like, and then you would set a goal, you would set a goal of how many books you wanted to read that month. usually we did like 12 or something. And then every day, like, there would be like a book on like the website Book It, and then like basically if you completed your goal, like your parent would like fill out this like little like certificate thing, like, and then you would take it in, and you could get a free personal pan pizza. So you could like completely design a personal pan pizza, which is a tiny pizza, but a really good one. I don't eat pizza crust, by the way. I never like the crust. I eat everything off of it. The sauce, the cheese, and the ham. Sometimes bacon. And I never like Pizza Hut bacon though, because it's in tiny pieces, and I don't like if I'm gonna get bacon on my pizza, I don't want it diced. I want to be able to pull a good piece off and eat it and enjoy it. So like, yeah, and we would go in and like once a month, and we would get like our free little pizza, and like I got excited. I love pizza. I'm definitely a Domino's girl now. I'll admit that for two reasons. And the first one is I just always love, like, Domino's I like because I can get like a large pizza, and really enjoy it. And like I'm picky where like some stuff just doesn't fill me up like normal, and like, yeah, like I like Domino pizza. It's good. Well, second reason is it's cheap. It's like cheap. Like, we literally went to Pizza Hut one time. We ordered a large pizza and paid $20. $20 for like a large pizza. We went to Domino's and we paid $7. Like, there's a big price difference. Domino's is cheap also. It's like right down the street from us. So like we get Domino's quite often. And I still love Pizza Hut. I'll never like not like Pizza Hut. That I will always like it. I like Domino's kind of because it's right down the street from us. It's cheap, easy, and it's good. So yeah, pretty much what happened. And like I threw a fit because our plumbing like broke, and I wasn't even concerned about the plumbing breaking, which is actually a big. I was concerned on that. My parents told me that we couldn't go to Pizza Hut, and I was mad. I threw a fit for that day I threw a fit for like half an hour, and my mom was like, we'll go tomorrow, tomorrow we'll go and we'll like get you your Pizza Hut pizza, and like you can enjoy it. So I was like, okay, that's reasonable, like we'll go tomorrow. Next day came, and at this point we had like the plumbing fixed, but we had to like build a bunch of stuff, like, because basically we tore out our dishwasher and our sink and everything, so we had to put it all back. And I got annoyed because I was told we were going that day, and we weren't. Like, literally my mom was like, well, don't worry, we'll go tomorrow. And at this point I'm like, I wasn't having it anymore, or I wasn't going to believe it. And I threw a fit for 2 hours over a Pizza Hut pizza, and she was like, tomorrow we'll go, after music class, because I had music class, and you can get your Pizza Hut pizza for dinner, and you can enjoy it, and at that point I was like, well, okay, and kind of just moved on. Like, literally my mom fell asleep because I was throwing a fit. Like, she literally just fell asleep, took a nap, yeah, so yeah, but once, when we first were told that we were moving back, I called Bella crying. She's like, what's wrong? Like, okay, you're calling me, like, what's wrong? And I'm like, at this point I didn't FaceTime her because my iPad was downstairs and I didn't want to go get it because I was too busy crying. And she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, we're moving, and like, just started crying, like complaining, like how we were moving. At the point it when I was losing so much, like it went, like when moving it meant and going out all the time and like just not being bored or being taken away, but at the same time I was happy in that sense in a way, and because I was happy because it meant I was going to see my crush every week again. That did not happen. I'll explain in a minute. So yeah, and I'm like crying and I'm annoyed and like I was literally a wreck to the point where no one could like get me to calm down. Like at this point, like my mom was like, here, just go talk to Bella, I will give you your space, your time. And she was like, well, listen to me. And I'm like, what? And she's like, you are not moving. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, yes, we are. She's like, how many times have you called me saying that you were moving? And I'm like, all the time. How many of those times have you moved? None. And she's like, see, you're not moving. We ended up moving though. But that was true because as my parents, like, something would happen all the time. Like, where, like, my mom would always say, hey, we're moving. Like, every 2 months or so, or, like, sometimes every month or something. And I get annoyed. I start crying or screaming or something. And then I get so annoyed that I come up with something random. I go and convince them to stay and then we not move. Like, literally, one time we even packed a box. Like, we literally had a box packed. And we had a box packed. And like, we didn't move. Like, I literally had to unpack a box. So yeah, like, a lot of this stuff. And we basically, so the day came and we were officially moving and I was a wreck. Like, I was a wreck. I don't know what was. I was basically a wreck. So we got down here and literally that night I FaceTimed Bella and I'm like, Bella, like, we're here, like, I pretty much just, like, tried to, like, just talk to her for a minute, and I was upset, like, I was truly upset, and then, pretty much what happened was, she started talking about her channel and stuff, and I was, like, in my head, I was, like, maybe now's a good time to ask them if I can start social media, because right now it's at a timing to where I'm a wreck, and like I was literally a wreck. I had so many emotions going on and stuff, and I was like, maybe now's a good time because I can use that to like kind of bribe them a little. So me and Bella get off FaceTime after it's been like an hour, and I go in the room, and I was jealous at the when I was full blown jealous. I don't get jealous. It's a big thing. Is that if someone gets something that I want, I don't get jealous. I'm like, I'm nicely and respectful. Like, I'm respectful and I'm nicely like, I okay, like, I'm happy for them, like, I get happy for them. But not this one time. This one time I was like, no. And I got jealous. after I was jealous and I went in there, I asked my dad, and I went like, please, like, I really want to do this, like, and within like 2 seconds, okay, I'm checking some because I swear I keep seeing a shadow from like outside. Oh wait, that's just the tree. Okay. I was wrong. It's nothing but me. Close the closet door so I don't see it anymore. We're cool. It was just the tree. So yeah, I was kind of annoyed, and then pretty much what happened was he was like, okay, let's go convince your mom, but there's gonna be rules, and I'm like, okay. We went out, and this time, since it was kind of me and my dad acting, she kind of didn't have a choice. It was kind of like, well, you know, like, my mom's always been picky when it comes down to certain things. She's like, if your dad approves of it or something, and like, so at this point, she kind of just went like, okay, you know, like, and I went like, wait, is she okay? That took like no convincing, like, and my dad was even shocked, because my mom, to get her to say yes to something like that, it takes a lot of convince. It's not no 2 seconds and you're done. It's like, you could be there for 30 to 45 minutes, and then be done. So like, I am sorry, guys. Bye. Keep saying, oh wait, that was across the street. Never mind. And so so I literally filmed a video and uploaded it. That's the night that I started social media. Yeah, and I was so excited. Like, I was practically crying with happiness, and it just made the time like seem so much better than what it was, and like just made me have fun. And like our house wasn't even unpacked. Like at that point, the only thing unpacked was like our furniture. So like, yeah. Then so yeah. Then 3 days later, I started beans, and then it's crazy looking back on it, because now beans is done and star's done, and it's like sad but happy, and like it's emotional. So yeah, then, and I was just kind of cool with things, and I kind of just didn't think much. Then, like that night, I maybe had 3 subscribers at that point. And it's just crazy and it's cool. Like, it's crazy and it's cool and it's like weird. So yeah. So yeah, pretty much then And yeah, a lot had changed, kind of. And so like now I'm used to like this, and I'm like excited, and like I'm okay. But then comes the big argument. This was an argument in between my parents. I'm allowed to talk about this, don't worry. And so basically, I went to my reading tutor that went, and my mom had been wanting me to quit for years. Like, she literally wanted me to quit for like over a year at the point because I didn't really need to go there anymore, but we were still going because I my reading tutor, Miss Belinda, was like one of my best friends and stuff. So basically, we come home, and I'm like, can't wait to go next week, because I liked it. I was excited, like, and my mom, like, you're not going next week, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, you're done going. And my dad's like, well, I figured she could go one more week, considering all the stuff that she's been put through. And my mom's like, you haven't been put through anything, like, nothing, like, you're perfectly fine, like, you were never put through anything. And she looked, and my dad's like, she's been put through a lot. We moved, like, and just started going off on her a little bit. And my mom's like, you're fine with all of that, aren't you? And I'm like, have you seen me? And my mom's like, well, you'll get over it. It's nothing. And I'm like, at that point, then comes the heated argument between me and my mom. So, yeah, basically then, and I don't think my mom's ready to let me grow up. And I know my dad isn't for sure. Because, like, it's very obvious sometimes. Like, because my mom always, like, asking, like, oh, can I do your hair or something? Because when I was little, she would always do my hair. And now that I'm older, I don't let her. And, like, she's like, I could put in pigtails or braids, and I'm like, no. Like, you can tell, there's obvious things. So then, and a few days later, so basically that day we called up my reading tutor, and basically I quit. And I didn't want to, but that was kind of the I miss her to this day. So then, a few days later, I can't wait to go to music class again, and my mom did a thing where she would like often like say, oh, you're not going. If I went up against her, if I thought something different than her, not going to music class, like, even if because I was very respectful about, like, not back-talking her, like, I mean by, for those who don't know what back-talking, it means, like, sassing someone, and, like, being rude, and, like, saying rude things to someone. Like, saying rude things to someone. Or to, like, a parent or guardian, pretty much. I say guardian because, like, my crush, I don't know what happened to her parents, to be honest. But I know he lives with his grandparents and stuff. So yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. At this point, my mom and me were inside a store, and this argument happened. We were inside a Food Line, which is a grocery store. It's all over the world, far that I know. We're all over America. I'll say that we live in America, but that's it. Like, America. And not saying where because I'm not allowed to. I would never do that. Like, but, yeah, pretty much what happened was this heated argument. over, pretty much over where my dad, so like I basically had my little mini shopping cart because I'm in the type that I love a shopping cart. I like to push a shopping cart. And so pretty much what happened was that we were inside Food Line and my dad went off. So I had my shopping cart. My mom had one. Now mine was a little kids one because I would do them sometimes because I'm short and I'm short and it's fun and kind of cool. And basically what happened was that my dad went to go get something like ice cream or I forget what was. He would go to get something. And this argument broke out between me and my mom so at this point it had been a minute and my mom was like, you should go check on him, and I'm like, I don't know where he went is the thing. And I get cautious when it comes, I'm used to going into the store and going off and in my own area, but I would get cautious. I'm always cautious with this because of something that happened when I was little that I'll explain in a minute. So yeah, pretty much what happened was at this point when and pretty much I was my mom's go find your dad. Just go to the aisle that your dad was on and check on him. And I'm like, well, I don't know where that aisle, I don't know what aisle that is. It could be any aisle in the store, except for the one that we were on, because he clearly wasn't on it. And my mom's like, you're sass talking me, and I'm like, I'm not. And then basically my mom's like, I'm fine, you're not going to music class. And I'm like, you don't have to, at this point I'm annoyed because I'm like, I straight up told her, I went you shouldn't do it consider, I'm not saying anything bad, and you would tell me the aisle that he was on, then I would go. Because there were a lot of people in the store that day. And this was way before Corona. And yeah. And so I was annoyed and it became a thing. And so my dad comes and I'm like, well, I'm not going to music class with Luke. Mom's not let me explain what happened, and he talked to her and went, you're going. Because she uses that to scare me sometimes. She wouldn't actually not let me go, but she does that to scare me sometimes. And so that way she can get her way or something. And so yeah, that was the thing. It got the. Now here's why I am cautious. Because when I'm in a store by I'm off looking in my own sections, and I'm cautious because when I was little, I think I was I think I was 6 years old, because I just started music class at this point. And at this point, I'd never been off in the store by myself. I always, anytime I went somewhere in the store, my parents were with me. And, they would take me to the aisle and I wanted to look at a Spider-Man basket because it was around Easter, and I have always been obsessed with Spider-Man pretty much since I can remember. But what happened was that I went to go look at them again because I already did. And fun fact, I got on a Spider-Man basket that year for Easter. Thank you, Easter Bunny. But yeah, pretty much what happened was that my mom pretty much my mom kind of went like, well, if you want, you can go off and go look at it yourself. And I'm like, excited, and I'm like, be right back. Cause at the point when I wasn't, like, the section wasn't that far from her. Like, it wasn't a big deal, like, situation. And I went and I got, like, right to where the aisle was. Went to turn on it, and, like, these four, like, women, like, complete stranger, or, like, kind of just started standing there, like, kind of looking at me, and I'm like, at this point I'm scared, and they're like, I wonder where her parents are, or something, and I'm like, I bolted out of there. And they didn't seem like they were gonna be rude or, like, take me or anything. I think they were just, because I looked a lot younger than them, I think they were trying to help me, thinking that I didn't know where my parents were, and were trying to help me find them. So yeah, it was a thing. On to my opinion on Corona. Personally, I went to incorporate to Corona. I personally agree with wearing a mask, staying 6 feet apart. That is what, when the Corona vaccine comes time to where I will get it. Like, even though I have a minor fear of shots and stuff, but I'll get it. Like, I have numbing cream. It's not that bad. Like, but yeah, I will definitely be getting. The reason I wanted to bring it up is because to me this was not put in my head by my parents are safe with Corona, like, but I'm also safe. So yeah, I'm also safe with it. I chose this. So yeah, peace.